Misfits way of life.
Oh, boy. Welcome back. Or as they say, buenas tardes, power bottoms.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches.
It's We Have Fun.
Power bottoms.
And that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
What are we discussing?
I think tonight is the great debate of whether or not we're actually having fun.
Yeah, you might be right. We've had some drinks. I had to re-upload. Nope, that's not the word. I had to update everything on my computer.
You had to date up.
So we've been in the studio for about 3 hours now.
In the stew.
And
Stewing in the stew.
We're gonna give it one go. We're gonna record this on the fly in the inimitable words of what's Fuckface McGee's name?
Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, we're gonna do it live.
Yeah, we're gonna do it live and then upload it a month from now.
Yeah. We have a backlog. What can you say?
Yeah, we got a back and there's a log on it. There's a log on your back. You should see a doctor.
Is it like a wood log or is it like a paper log? What pilots keep?
It's a logarithm.
Oh. Logarithm.
Feel the logarithm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time.
I really wish you wouldn't have said that.
Cool runnings.
Okay, dog. What are we talking about?
What do we talk about when we talk about dogs?
What are we talking about? I feel like I had something that I wanted to talk about.
Well, speak your mind and let your conscience be free. You're not rolling with the thugs from the WHF.
Nothing in my notes section.
In your notally wodalies.
Let's check pop events.
I got notes.
You got notes?
Well, maybe.
Hit me with them notes.
Hit me with your best note. Bah, bah, bah. Hit me with your best note. Bah, bah, bah. I meant to shift keys, but it didn't happen.
You sure didn't. You just kept trucking.
Woo!
Alright, here's one for you. Juul, the vaping pens,
Right.
halts sales of fruity e-cigarettes ahead of looming U.S. ban. That's what they said. That's what they said. Do you think that it was right of them to call out people who use e-cigarettes?
Well, you know my stance on big tobacco.
What is it?
I wish they would endorse me.
Endorse us.
Yeah, but also me.
Just you? I don't smoke, but like here's the thing, like I really want your money.
Like, if it's just us, it doesn't really leave the studio. Mm-hmm. But if it's me, I'm obligated to, like, if I see someone vaping out in the street, rip it out of their mouth and step on their e-cig and say, hey, try one of these.
But here's the fun fact.
And I give them an unfiltered.
Here's a 100, pussy.
I wrote it myself.
Here's the thing. Big Tobacco owns the vaping companies.
Yeah, but they don't own me.
Here's the other thing. Soylent Green is Big Tobacco.
Right. Therefore, vaping is people.
Vaping is people. Ipso facto,
yeah.
You're vaping people.
Now, on that note, we're pretty sure the Impossible Burger is human flesh, right?
I mean, I haven't had one yet, mostly because Burger King's trash.
Right.
But
there's there's a standalone restaurant.
I think it's it's in the freezer aisle.
Yeah. But isn't there also called like an Impossible Burger place? It's probably not as catchy of a name as that.
I'm sure it's called that. I'm sure that it's called the Impossible Burger Place.
Impossible Burger Place or whatever.
The Impossible Whopper is driving steady traffic to Burger King data. Doctor sounds off on the Impossible Burger. They're not healthy.
I mean, who would have guessed?
Dave & Buster's replaces their Impossible Burgers with new plant-based products. South Park takes on the Impossible Burger. That's when you know you're either wildly successful or you really fucked up.
Right.
The best meatless fast food burgers ranked. Fake meat fans.
Fake meat.
Fans of fake meat have beef with Big Meat for trying to cut into plant-based markets. Wow, that's a lot.
Big Meat.
That's from Ars Technica.
Big Meat is my new rapper name.
Let's see what they let's see what they rate the best meatless fast food burgers.
The Big Mac. The normal Big Mac.
Number 5 is the Impossible Whopper.
Ooh. Not coming in very strong, BK.
Number 4 is the A&W Beyond Burger.
A&W, they still exist?
They do, but not here.
They don't. They have pretty good hot dogs.
You really liked A&W.
Yeah.
See, R-A-N-W.
I rang the bell.
Did you? That's obnoxious.
I think once.
That's obnoxious, Doug.
It was mainly for the floats.
Oh yeah, the floats were legit.
We all root beer floats here.
Yeah. See, the A&W in our neck of the woods was an A&W Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
Or an A&W LJS.
The two places you look at and be like, huh, good for them. They're still around.
Yeah, no, Long John Silver's was my comfort food, straight up.
Yeah.
It was like
get some puppies.
Yeah, big fan of puppies. But no, it was like you knew it was bad for you, but like you could feel it killing you, but at the same time it was so different that it was like permissible.
Yeah. Well, like, oh, this is an intriguing death.
I mean, it's like, well, what's it gonna be? Really? Is it mercury poisoning? Is it,
you're really spinning the wheel and seeing what comes up today.
We're playing the feud, people. We're going to Long John Silver's, and they sold chicken, which always made me laugh.
And you know what? We're still gonna ring that bell. It'll just be
I'd ring that bell.
Tolling the death knell.
Ring that fucking bell. But here's the thing. Here's what you got to contend with, okay?
Okay, tell me what we're contending with.
The A&W burger comes with
all the bells and whistles.
It comes with their version of a Thousand Island dressing, known affectionately as Papa Sauce.
All right. So I'll be Big Meat and you can be Papa Sauce.
Papa Sauce. I am Papa Sauce. And you're all week-old babies.
You're going to make great t-shirts. Big Meat and Papa Sauce. Can our fans be called week-old babies?
I like it. Now you are the week-old babies. I'm Papa Sauce, and that's Big Meat.
I'm always Big Meat.
I like to picture people in their car in traffic listening to this, like our friends and family that are listening to us immediately, right. And they're just like, "What
close supporters?
What the fuck are they talking about?" Not a smile on their face.
What are Big Meat and Papa Sauce talking about? What do I know? I'm just a week old baby.
Let me go on Facebook and consult the other week old babies.
Can you just imagine, like, juggalos, week old babies?
All right, number 3. Moving on. Number 3, Carl's Jr. Beyond Famous Star.
Is that a thing?
I took a bite of this and immediately thought, this is as good a burger. This is as good as a Beyond Burger is going to taste in fast food. And I was wrong, and you'll have to read number 2 on this list to find out why.
Oh, God, I can't wait for number 2.
Journalism.
Gotcha, journalism.
Number 2, wait a minute.
Muckraker.
Wait a minute.
Mudslingers. Slinging mud.
I think we've been
duped. We've been
Smanglethorped.
By a shrewd ruse.
Carl's Jr. again! Again!
Sponsored by Carl's Jr. This guy was, not us.
No, not us. Carl's Jr. Beyond Barbecue Cheeseburger. Now I'm actually interested in this.
Yeah. I don't know why. There's not a Carl's Jr. in a 500-mile radius of us.
Yeah, truly. After I ordered this, the cashier explained to a coworker that this new item is, quote, like a Western, but with no bacon.
Like a Western. Is that like another sandwich they have?
I guess. I don't know. The Western Bacon Cheeseburger includes American cheese, 2 onion rings, and tangy barbecue sauce.
See, once you have all that other stuff, it doesn't matter if the thing
No,
is
yeah, it's like when you have
free or not.
It's like when you get a good fresh salad and you dump ranch on it. Like, of course, ranch is the superior dressing, but it removes all nutritional value.
Right. You might as well just empty a shaker of salt onto your salad.
Yeah, or just not eat the salad.
Yeah,
just fast. Just go without eating.
We're like, oh, that salad is great. Now I can have 3 pieces of cake.
What the fuck?
It would be writing to you. We know who it is.
Yeah. And then number 1, you're not going to guess number 1.
I'm not. Is it Carl's Jr.?
It's, you know what? It's not far off. I'm going to give you 3 chances. You don't have to guess.
I'm just going to name the chains.
Yeah, well, yeah, just name the chain. No, you have to get the burger right, too. Just 3 chains. Go.
Break the chain. Roy Rogers.
No.
Oh, that's a middle finger. Okay. What are other...
Roy Rogers.
Yeah, I know. I really...
You really just let that one go. That's why you got the middle finger.
Yeah, I figured as much. What's the other one? I think it also has an R. Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rockets is fucking fire, but no, it's not Johnny Rockets.
What am I thinking? These aren't places that would have a non-meat burger.
What the
Jeez,
fuck?
crow. That's not a headline I was expecting to see. It just says it's yellow and has 720 sexes.
Oh yeah, it's the blob.
Okay, so
Spoiler alert.
is it a burger place?
It is a burger place.
Okay.
Exclusively a burger place.
Okay, exclusively.
It is not known for literally anything else. Except maybe diarrhea.
It's not Five Guys.
I like that, like, Shake Shack or any prominent burger.
In-N-Out? In-N-Out doesn't have one.
No, they don't. And you know what? Because I'm feeling magnanimous, I'm not going to count that as a guess.
No, that was a throwaway.
Mm-hmm. No, Roy Rogers was a throwaway. You stupid, insolent bastard.
You stupid. You sure it's not Carl Jr.? Carl's Jr.?
We're going to triple back on Carl's Jr. here.
Is it Carl's?
It's the Western.
Is it Carl's Sr.?
Is it Carl's the Third?
Isn't there like one that's like similar to Carl's Jr. but it's not Carl's Jr.?
Hardee's.
Hardee's.
Yeah.
Hardee's.
It's not Hardee's.
Okay.
It's Hardee's Jr.
Weenie Hut General. Let me think. Exclusively burgers.
Yeah.
What is exclusively burgers? Exclusively burgers.
You're going to kick yourself.
I'm probably exclusively burgers. Exclusively burgers. White Castle.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's actually exclusively sliders, but I thought that would give it away.
See, I wanted to say White Castle for a long time, but all I could think of was Church's Chicken, because the only White Castle I've ever been to was connected to a Church's Chicken.
Oh, that's a sacrilege.
And I was like, what is the name?
Yeah,
we need a name.
It's the White Castle Impossible Slider,
Ugh.
which is like
Very
suggestive.
It's pretty impossible to consume as it is.
Yeah.
I had one, and I was like, So the diarrhea comment makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And but when I said, I was like, this is not good. Really, it's just like a thin slab of meatloaf with a pickle on it.
It's basically steakums,
but not as
between
good,
two pieces of white bread.
with a pickle on it.
And a very far, what's the opposite of superior? Inferior.
Yes.
An inferior social media, what have you.
Right. And there's like a pickle on it.
I don't like pickles.
Me either.
I don't even like
Neither.
I understand the concept of taking the pickle off the thing, but there's like the juice that hangs around afterwards. Like, I don't really eat Chick-fil-A too often anymore because, like, you know, human rights. But they have enough times screwed up my order, and they put, which is like really, really easy to not do, because it's not like a burger place where if you don't say anything, they put like fucking ketchup and mustard and mayo and pickles and relish and all that crazy shit on it. It's like, it's plain. Just fucking, I want a bacon cheeseburger, and I want bacon cheeseburger and patty. That's all I want.
Right.
It's like Chick-fil-A is like, I just don't want a pickle on it, is the long form of I want it plain. And they still put the fucking pickle on it. But the pickle...
Still no pickle.
Seriously. The pickle gets in the bun, and then everything's like that briny sour taste.
Oh, that's not a good taste.
And it's like, I don't want that. How would anybody want that?
So, like, it's funny because I don't really like pickles, but if I have to eat it, the only way I can eat it is bereft of anything else. If I'm just eating the pickle.
Interesting.
Because I don't want it to taint everything else
Sure,
I'm eating.
that makes sense.
So it's like, well, if I'm going to suffer, might as well just suffer alone.
Yeah. What's tragic is I don't
take the sandwich down with me.
What I think is weird is that I don't mind a cucumber. You know, I like a cucumber water, like a cucumber in a salad. It's quite refreshing. It's quite nice.
I think I always expect pickles to be crispier than they are.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are crispier,
yeah, it's
still not quite to what my expectations are.
It's like a sour, overripe Macintosh apple. It's just like, ugh. No, we're doing something to somebody. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's just what Big Meat and Papa Sauce have coming to you.
Truly. All right, let's see what else
Is
we
it
got.
too late to change this to the Big Meat and Papa Sauce podcast?
Well, nobody's listening to us now, so
That's
fuck
true.
it. Might as well.
That's true.
We also have to throw the word cottywomple in there at some point.
Yes. Well, that was from a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, cottywomple, of course, being to walk forward with intention, but with no destination.
Right. That is us.
I don't
Big Meat and Papa Sauce present Cottywomple.
We talked a
Our
lot
debut album.
of politics on the Tuesday show.
Right.
So I don't want to do that too much this show.
Right.
So let's talk about... I don't know. Well, there's a fun tab.
Ooh, fun. We have it.
The life cycle of Kylie Jenner's rise and shine wake-up call. Meme, alarm tone, dubstep remix. I
am no longer having fun.
Don't have fun anymore.
Rise and shine.
I don't like them. I just don't like them.
Have you seen the video, though?
No.
So my favorite part of it is she's talking to the cameras and it's like, we'll wake up Stormy and then we can, like, see her room. And you see her room, like, in the clips that she wakes up her daughter. There's nothing in it. It is just a bare bones nursery. Barely a crib.
That is funny.
And it's like, why was this worth showing? Why would you interrupt your baby's sleep cycle for television?
Okay.
For the televisor.
I don't know, Doug. Those people are weird. They just live differently.
It's true.
They just live differently.
It's just different. What is else in the fun tab? What else is in the fun tab?
Nothing. It's literally just names of people, and I don't want to go down any rabbit holes.
It's all right. I'll do it. We're doing it, Peter. Fun.
Here we go. Here's one for you.
Okay.
It's a question.
Right.
It's a question for you, Doug.
Okay.
This decade is over in 2.5 months.
Sure is.
What is the thing?
Okay.
What
is this a question?
Do you smell toast? What is the thing that sticks with you the most from the last 9.75 years?
So that takes us to 2010. On the cusp of 2010, right? Right? 2010.
Yes.
So, wow. In that time, I was still in high school. I think, and this is going to sound hokey. I mean, it's hard to say definitively. One person can change so much in that time, or it can just, like, continue to grow and evolve.
Just fucking add me.
Yeah. Well, actually, what I was going to say is that it was probably around that time where I started to really cultivate all the friends that I have now.
Yeah?
And I'm pleased with where it's gone for the most part.
Yeah?
There's a few I wish could have been better. I think you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
Papa Sauce.
No, not Papa Sauce. Papa Sauce I'm perfectly content with.
Yeah. I'll drink
Where were we 9.75 years ago?
Where were we at 9.75? Like we're rubbits. Rubbity.
Were you?
What day is it?
October 2017.
So 12/17 2000
10/17.
12/17 10/17.
Well, that would just be 9 years ago, straight up. Straight up. So what's is the question from, like,
today?
New Year's Day of 2010?
Maybe. I mean, I guess just like from 2010. Yeah, I guess New Year's Day 2010.
So you graduated that year, right?
Surely.
So we were already friends by that point.
Surely.
We were already down this path.
Surely.
We had a blog that we never contributed to.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. We've been trying to do this for a decade.
I know. Like, whenever I told you, I was like, I think we're further along this path than we realize. That's,
I mean, that blog surely doesn't exist anymore.
No. Did it ever really exist?
It was a blog spot. I remember that.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever really made it past the introductory thing.
I don't think we did.
Because we would have some incredible conversations through
AIM.
Yeah. And that was like, other people should be involved in this. And that was how we tried, because we didn't have the means of podcasting.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a thing yet. We could have been trendsetters.
We could have been. If we knew it was a concept.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a weird thing on everyone's iTunes that they ignored.
Yeah. Do like the magazines tab. These folks read magazines on your iPad. Who's doing that? If you download a magazine...
That hit me.
You should be immediately committed.
I felt that. Because, like, I have a GQ subscription, and it comes with, like, digital access.
This fucking
I
guy.
never use it. I get access to an issue, like, a month before I receive the physical version, and I never use it.
You know what's funny? Is that I recently found my iPod from college. Mm-hmm. And before I basically decommissioned it.
Mm-hmm. You retired it.
Yeah, basically before, because I mean, it was just in shambles. Mm-hmm. It still worked, but it had like 3 hours of battery life on it.
Honorable discharge.
Basically, and I
discharged on it. What are we talking about?
Okay, don't fucking out me like that, Doug.
You techie.
I just love electronics. Okay. No, I had just gotten I actually didn't get my first smartphone. It was a Nexus 6 until like 2012.
Right.
And maybe even 2013. It's difficult to say. My sophomore and junior year of college really just blended together, so it's difficult to say what was
what.
what.
A lot of acid.
You're telling me. Sometimes I crack my back just for the fun of it.
You fell huge into Christianity in that time. I could see how you kind of block it out.
That's a topic. Let me finish this, and if we want to, we can come back to that.
I might cut that out.
Yeah. Because I don't have a problem talking about it. I just, it was a real look-see tour, and I fell more in love with the people than the religion.
Right.
But, anyway, when I was getting rid of my iPod, I took, basically all the apps off of it, because I'm a dipshit, and I didn't think that it was going to be, a time capsule.
Save Flappy Bird.
I didn't save Flappy Bird. I didn't save, fucking Run. The Temple Run.
Yeah.
What was the jump one?
Oh.
You're like a little green,
Yeah.
pea.
I know what you're talking about.
Doodle jump?
Doodle jump.
Doodle jump. I didn't have Doodle jump. I didn't say fucking Fruit Ninja. Fucking the beer app we had for some fucking reason.
Was it because of Bachtown?
No. It's literally your phone filled up like it was a glass of beer, and you poured the beer out.
Oh, that's weird.
It was a real dumb one.
That's weird. Do they still make apps like those? I don't pay attention.
I doubt it. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, to the point is, you had the magazine rack, and I remember I didn't buy a subscription. I bought one magazine. It was just sitting there after 5 years and dormant. It was just one copy of Sports Illustrated.
Was it the swimsuit edition?
It wasn't even the swimsuit edition.
Wow. Because if it was that, I'd be like, all right, he doesn't want to face the shame of going to Barnes & Noble and buying, of all things, Sports Illustrated.
It was just sitting there a March 2012 copy of just whatever the fuck happened in sports. Just there you are after all these years.
Wow. So you're the answer to your own question of who's using the magazine app.
Well, I bought one, and I was like, this is a grown-up thing to do. This is the grown-up thing to do. This is what people on Wall Street do.
Yeah, as if you just bought the Wall Street Journal.
And I don't think I ever read it.
Oh, I just picked up a digital subscription to the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just bought an issue of Sports Illustrated.
It's the same thing, really.
Right. Sure. Wow.
But that's...
learn a lot.
That's it.
So, yeah. Wow, we go back a ways.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, we do that a lot, but at the end of the day, we're always like, oh, we spend too much time together.
And by all means, we do.
We sure do.
But it's because we don't have anyone else to spend time with.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a... I don't know for sure gut reaction if you're my desert island partner, but
I'd argue we've already been on that metaphorical island for a decade now, so yeah.
Your first runner-up for sure.
Oh, good. Oh, babe.
First runner-up for sure.
I enjoy, as we discussed before, as we were waiting for your computer to update.
Yeah, I like how this not to cut you off entirely, but a little bit to cut you off. Mm-hmm. I like how this episode is really just like this is the waiting for Godot of episodes. It's like not really a purpose. We're just kind of hamming it up, going through the decades.
Yeah. And honestly, that's exactly what I was about to do.
I'm so tired. I just want this episode to be over.
I love, and I think we may have mentioned it before on the pod when we talked about academia.
Yeah.
When we first became friends, that whole school year, I was woefully oblivious to all this drama that was going on in your life and our group of friends' lives.
Which was largely connected.
Yeah, and I was just there. I was like, hey, guys.
You were just...
happy to be there.
A plum.
I was noticeably the happiest person in the group.
Truly. There's a picture of us on our yearbook that is like supposed to be the whole group, but for some reason, in an act to not name drop, the teacher responsible for, or the kids responsible for the yearbook that year decided to just crop. So we had the option of sitting... in our high school, we didn't have to eat lunch in the cafeteria. We could just eat lunch in the hallway because it was like way more kids in the school
than there should have
been. So like we couldn't all fit in the cafeteria
because half the school is shut down for renovations for 10 years.
So like they just basically let us stay in the hallway adjacent, which was like what the cool kids did.
Yeah,
like real squares sit at tables.
That's what we told ourselves.
Yeah, so we would sit on the floor underneath the trophy case because we're just couple of regular old trophies,
obviously.
And there were 4 of us in this group, and like the 4 of us were typical angsty. Well, the 3 of us were angsty, like long hair. Probably could have bathed a little more, to be honest. Like didn't smell, but like we're like noticeably greasy by the end of the day. Wore a lot of black. Not really changing from that at all. Just like kind of sour dispositions. Dispositions. It's hard for me to pronounce
Depositions.
That. Yeah.
Your Honor.
You in court. And
Your Honor, we was sour.
Like nice kids, but like
watched a lot of Perry Mason. That's where the accent came from.
Anywho, we're painting the picture here, and then there's Doug, just magnetically pulled onto the end of the sitting row. Bright colors, shorts. We didn't do shorts the other 3/4 of this group. It was the shirt combinations were my favorite part of the day, just to see how this was gonna go.
Imagine if you just dropped a Teletubby into the world of Tim Burton.
Yeah.
That was my existence.
That was pretty much it. It was basically like Beetlejuice meets Poe. Perhaps Tinky.
I'm Poe.
Yeah, perhaps Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky, was he the purple one?
Yeah.
Which one was the red one?
Poe.
I'll be Poe.
You want to be Poe?
Well, I don't know. Tinky Winky, I like purple now too. I kind of want a mixture of the two. I want to...
Like Lala?
No, don't you dare bring Lala.
What was the other one? Dipsy?
I don't know.
I think it was Dipsy.
I feel like if you start naming them after a while, you start to get into the 7 Dwarves.
Tinky Winky, Tipsy,
Tinky Winky,
La
Kinky.
Poe.
Poe.
And so yeah, and there's a picture in our yearbook of, because this is the way that it sat. It went Doug, me, friend, and then friend. And they cropped the last 2 people out so that it's just me, the backup guitarist to Mayhem, sitting next to Doug, smiling, ear to ear. Me, not realizing that a picture is even being taken.
Looking like you want to murder everyone in the hall.
Yeah.
And me like, hey,
it's gonna be okay.
It's you guys.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be friends.
Yeah, and that's probably my favorite pick, because that's the only time I'm in the yearbook. Like, outside of, like, the actual yearbook part.
That's
like,
the only candid of you?
That's the only candid of me. Oh. Which is like...
And how apropos. How apt.
Well, it's funny because, like, I played sports.
Yeah.
And, like, I was on the soccer team. I was involved with people, by all accounts. I think people remember me in a kind light. But the only picture of me that if, like, people are... Like, so whenever, like, everybody's grown up... And they've got kids and shit, and people are going through, and it's like, why was this murderer sitting next to Doug?
Yeah. Yeah.
They know you, they don't know me.
They do know me. Well, you know.
It's Big Mean Papa Sauce, baby. Yeah, I mean, come on.
They're gonna know. Real recognize real. Yeah, man. Yemen. What a strange occurrence. My joining that group was.
It really didn't make any sense at all.
No, it was really just the stubbornness of... Because I remember what drew me to you.
Yeah.
And it was literally, I saw a person I recognized before I even walked into the cafeteria. I was like, oh, wow, I could probably just go sit over there.
Just gonna tie my horse to this post.
Yeah. When I first started sitting with you, there was an unknown at the time, a future attempted pedophile.
Yeah.
At that table.
Well, you know what? I think we all kind of got that vibe.
Yeah.
We weren't...
we knew there were issues.
Under more...
The way he ate a salad was disgusting at best.
Truly. Under more normal circumstances, I would say that I would look poorly upon how we perhaps treated him.
Yeah.
But on the other hand...
He was very abrasive.
He was super abrasive, not a kind man.
Even back to elementary school, he was abrasive.
Yeah.
I know I've told that story before.
Yeah, just not fun to be around. Mm-hmm. And really tried to, like, shoehorn, but also via gaslighting.
Yes.
He would, like, try to get in there. And, like, the one thing about, like, angsty kids is that, like, we don't know who we are. Mm-hmm. As a person, but we do know exactly what we don't like.
Right. And
we're typically smarter than we need to be for the situation. We're a little bit over-leveled in the intellectual sense.
Right.
At least for...
I'm agreeing as if I was angsty back
then.
Yeah,
you were, like, the furthest thing from angst. But...
It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Angst.
We're listening to a lot of...
Not familiar.
Listening to a lot of Blink 182 in those days. Listening to a lot... Which I was listening to on the way over here.
Oh, you were? What... misfortune led to that?
You know what? I just felt like I haven't really listened to them in a long time.
Was it their old stuff?
Oh yeah, no, their new stuff is hot garbage.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But his presence there when I first showed up.
Where are you?
I really, I kind of unwittingly became something of a cuckoo bird. Which, if you know what a cuckoo bird is,
I'm familiar.
It
Papa sauce.
It forces the other eggs out of the nest.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't been there, I don't know that I would have been welcome to stay. But we were all able to unite against that darkness. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I think we found that common ground.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know I truly don't know what the final nail in that coffin was, but he just like disappeared.
I think he was gross to behold.
No. Well, he definitely was that.
And he was also creepy.
Well, it's also definitely that, but like I don't remember if we effectively told him off or if he just up and fucked off on his own.
I think one of the other two people that you didn't name drop was I think they took a firm stance. Because he really creeped her out.
Yeah, probably. No, you know what? I think I know the exact... Was it outside? Was it on the outside tables?
I think so,
yeah. Yeah, I know that exact moment
before
then.
We moved in for the cold season.
Before we went in for hibernation.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, I know that exact moment then, yeah.
But yeah.
And,
Ever since. Well, not really. We kind of fell apart for the college years.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, people just...
It's the natural progression.
Yeah, people just do. We all had such... I want to think that if we were all in the same room, we would be slightly less than we were in high school, but not terribly far off.
Right.
But it's just that, like, everybody had such different interests outside of school.
Right.
So, like, you and I are pretty sporty.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of very similar interests.
Yeah, we're basically the same person 2 years off.
Yeah.
A year off?
Year off.
A year off. But
which is maybe because you're the elder, maybe
yeah.
why you're more angsty, you're more world weary.
Yeah, surely.
I've still got like
you're catching up.
I've got my naivete. I just got
but the other, I mean, guitar aficionado, and then just artsy, just an art student.
Yeah.
And there's enough overlap if we're in the same immediate vicinity. Mm-hmm. But outside of those walls, like I know that in college I used to FaceTime them.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. It wasn't an optimal solution.
No, because it's always. I've always felt like if video chat like that's always seemed like an intrusion.
Truly.
Like, listen, guys, I got something else I got to be doing right
now.
Or you have something else you need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like, all right, Sunday night at 9:00, we're all going to clear our schedule.
Right.
And we're going to like have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's something. Never happens like that.
Right. Well, and the one thing that it like, I guess it's like a character flaw of mine, is that when I have something that I'm pulling from, say for the sake of poetry, from an old life, that I've taken into a new environment, I am deeply territorial of that thing.
Right.
And so in college, the other two were going to their private universities. They had roommates that they either liked or trusted.
Right.
I literally had none of those things. I was going to a public school in a shared room that had very shit Wi-Fi, and my roommate was a gigantic asshole drug dealer.
Oh.
And I did not want him having any insight into my personal life.
You don't want any possibility of corruption of you.
True. Well, I just didn't want him to know things. Like, I didn't want to open the door for him to, like, have a conversation with me at all. Like, not that I thought that it was not like a taken scenario. Like, I didn't think anybody was like in danger. I just like, I really just.
You wanted to protect it.
Yeah.
You wanted to keep it wholesome.
Yeah. Like, I didn't.
As wholesome as it could have been. Because you guys got into some stuff without me.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
But also, I don't. Did I? I had a phone by that point. Yeah. I got a phone late in life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the best possible solution.
Oh yeah.
No, if you have a phone, I had minutes all through high school, not through college. I had minutes.
Yeah.
I would buy cards for high school because like my parents are like super old world, and they're like, "What do you see your friends every day? Like, what do you need a phone for?"
It was the good old days where you can only make calls to the person if they were on your network, and even then, only like after 7.
Oh, I had a T-Mobile phone, so nobody was on my network.
Yeah.
I had to buy minutes no matter what.
There were lines drawn in the sand. You were either AT&T or Verizon.
Mm-hmm. Truly. I mean, the iPhone really...
That just made it exacerbated the issue.
It truly did.
But yeah, I'd like to think that if we got that group of people together now, I mean, there'd be the initial like, so what got you here? What got you to this?
I'm sure you're wondering why I've gathered you all here.
Where did you go from when I last spoke to you 9 years ago? Truly, yeah. To right now.
Yeah, and what's kind of funny is that we've been trying like to organize something, but it's like, fuck, man, we all, well, besides me and you, we all have careers.
Right.
So it's like...
careers that I don't fully understand.
Yeah, so it's difficult to get time, because that's just an ethos that I cannot buy into. Like, putting the needs of your career before the needs of the self.
Right.
I don't know.
That's the, really... It's not even Western civilization. It's more the American way of more... live to work rather than work to live.
Yeah, I maybe I didn't say that so correct. So like with this, I'm happy to drop whatever for the pod, for whatever we're writing for a screenplay, whatever we're writing for a YouTube thing.
Because that's, for us, that's both furthering ourselves and our careers.
Yes. But it's
not
like
mutually exclusive.
shit. Yeah, it's like whenever I was with the transportation company that I was with, and it was like 9-hour days. It was advertised as 8-hour days, and then after the first week, they were like, "Oh, by the way, you're showing up an hour late to work every day. You should be getting here an hour earlier and staying until the exact same time." And I was like, all right.
Yeah, 9-hour days aren't fun.
And so I did that.
10-hour days are worse.
Well, I was still getting paid for 8 hours, but I was salaried.
Oh.
So they wanted me for 9 hours, and then they tried to make like the lunch a half an hour, and then they wanted me to work like with lunch, like I'd eat and work at the same time, and then like all these different things, and they were talking about like coming in on weekends, and I was like, hold on, fellas, like,
fellas, please.
this is not like smart. Like, what do you?
This is not a lifestyle.
This is not a lifestyle. Like, you've got like driver managers and people with like making like 6 figures. They're coming in on weekends because at this point they've bought into this. This is their life.
Yeah.
You hired me 3 weeks ago, and you're already telling me to work through lunch. You're giving me roughly $30,000 a year.
And then also Saturday.
Yeah, like that's not. You're dreaming if you think that's going to happen.
Right. And that's like just they kind of expect this unearned loyalty. Mm-hmm. Though, like they won't give you any.
Yeah,
like they won't show anything to you.
No,
like,
absolutely not. And that's one of the things
to make it worth your while. They're just paying you.
What kind of cracks me up, and like not to turn it into like a shit talking thing, but like to kind of come up with like the leveled up intellectuality of certain situations. Like, I'm no longer, but I was raised Irish Catholic, and
no longer Irish.
Definitely Irish. No longer Catholic. And my not to put you too much on the spot here, Pa, but my dad used to lie a lot. Still probably does, but I haven't talked to him in a while.
For a second, I thought you were referring to me as Pa. I was like, oh, baby.
If anybody's Pa, it's me. But in this situation, it's Pa sauce.
Right.
And
Pa sauce.
So I know lying, and I mean, I'm a storyteller by trade. I know stories. I know how you put one together. And I read people well because I played a lot of poker in college. So, like, you really can't get a lie over on me. Now, the fortunate thing is I'm a very forgiving individual. And most of the time, I like, run through the problem tree of, like, how to solve this thing. And most of the time, I come up, like, 99% of the time of, I'm going to let them get away with this because it's not worth my time to fix it.
Right.
So I let people get away with
the
things.
beat goes on, as it were.
Yeah, it's like what's the phrase that they use? I think in a Spider-Man, you got to get along to go along.
Yeah, it sounds right.
And so I'm like, you know what? You have to go along to get along. So it's vice versa. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him, like, whatever. Like, he can think that he's smarter than me, but I know that he's bullshitting me the whole time. And they did that pretty much since day one. But the whole thing, it's not just me. Like, I'm not unique to this situation. The other 8 people that I worked with all knew. So it led me to the conclusion that these people are all so terrible liars.
Yeah.
That's not grammatically such terrible liars. That, like,
that was the first thing I was like, no, it's not so. It's such.
It's such.
I don't care what you said. It's such.
And it just made me laugh because, like, first it makes you laugh, and then it's like, okay, we get it, and then you're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Then it just starts to bring you down.
Yeah, because it's like, even when you go to them for help, it's like, oh my god, you're fucking selling me on something. Just tell me the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's exhausting.
It's
exhausting.
Why is it so exhausting?
I don't know. Why is that so fun to do? That accent. That's the most fun accent I can think of.
It is the most fun accent. And I think it's just because...
Brooklyn grandmas.
Yeah. I think it's because we want to be them.
Why don't we just change the podcast? Welcome to Brooklyn Grandmas with Big Meat and Papa Sauce.
By Big Meat and Papa Sauce. Oh, man.
We have fun.
God, can you imagine if we had been called Big Meat and Papa Sauce back then?
I'm pretty sure we'd be in prison right now.
Right.
Right now.
And, there's still time.
We're still in our 20s.
But I think the issue is if you show up to prison with a nickname, you die quickly. Or you just become someone's hand puppet.
Hold my pocket.
Whoa.
The inside or the outside pocket.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, that's us.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, the years have been kind.
You know what? They've been ups and downs, but I'm happy with where we've gotten.
It's been a long, winding road,
and we're still on it.
Yeah.
I hope.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're still here, so we're still on it.
I guess we never really answered that question, but
what was the question again?
What are you going to take away from the last decade? Like when your perhaps adopted children ask you, what was the 2010s like?
Wait, why are they perhaps adopted?
I don't know.
I'll say it was and I don't even know how to say it well. I enjoyed it for the most part. The past few years have been pretty rough. Well, with the world at large. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because I've been getting older as well. And you start to become more aware of the things that are going on. But the other side of that is you learn to cherish the things close to you. And the people close to you. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, that was nice by itself. You really turned a gear there.
Yeah. It's been a good time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say that the 2010s, I lived more in the past 9 years than the previous 18.
Right. Yes.
Definitely.
Well, I haven't been alive that long.
Yeah.
So. Right.
Well.
Have I?
Yeah. You're 94?
93.
Why do I keep thinking you're 2 years younger than me?
I don't know, Kevin. Why do you keep thinking that?
I mean, each decade each decade of our life has been marred by some tragedy. Yes. So we've really had to overcome that some way. Right. Usually psychologically, since we're not even a blip on the radar as far as accountability is concerned, but
everyone has had to cope with it. It's not like it's just our burdens to bear.
Right.
To bear.
So, I mean, the 90s are a wash, but the late 90s, there's something there. Yeah. And then you've got the aughts, which we were really just caught in the undertow of.
Yeah. I didn't pay attention a lot to the world at large. Mm-hmm. I didn't really start to form into who I am now until like 08, 09. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really wasn't worth. I basically just copied my brother for like the first 15 years of my life. Yeah. And then, I guess the technically formative years, or the actual formative years, are, 2000 and they start probably 2006 for me, at least probably 2007 for you.
It's when you start I think it's really when you start having a group of friends that you go out with, you do things with. Yeah. That's when you start to become your own individual. Once you get out of the house. Yeah. Because like me, I was the youngest of four, and so my older two siblings, they were gone before I was like halfway through middle school. That's a weird way to say it, but so you see them grow up, and it seems like they're so much older than you, but then it's now I'm in the same boat as them, except I don't have a child. Yeah, that I know of.
That you know of, yeah.
But you take the pieces of your siblings that you think all right, that's something that I want for myself to try to become or improve upon, and then you see the stuff that doesn't work. You're like, all right, keep that at arm's length. Mm-hmm. And that's really what makes you up for the early part of your life. And then once you get to a certain age, you start to become your own self. Mm-hmm. Those are the foundations, but it's on you to find your own path.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is finding your, so to speak, tribe.
Yeah.
And it takes different people a different amount of time to do it. I feel fortunate that I think I've found at least a core tribe fairly early on in life. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not like closing myself off to new friendships or anything because that would just be stupid.
Right.
But it's like I have a group of people that I know, like, all right, these people will always be there.
Yeah.
It's like an extension of family.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would agree with pretty much all of that. I think a lot of it can be summed up in the phrase that except I'm going to turn it a little bit. I know that originally...
You love turning a phrase.
Yeah, I do. Originally, the word is supposed to be character, but I think, and I guess, I don't know, you could argue it, but I'm not in an arguing mood right now. Personality is who you are when people of authority aren't looking at you.
Yeah.
So the second that you do get to go to the movies with your friends, when you do get to just fucking slum it out, like just drive around the town, when there isn't anybody to tell you that you're doing something wrong, and you have to form that opinion yourself.
Right.
That's pretty much a good keystone for who you're going to wind up being.
Do you remember, like, the first kind of decisions of... I don't even want to say right or wrong, because I feel like that puts on too grand of a scale. But do you remember, like, the first time you made a decision, like, you thought there might be consequences for? Mm-hmm. And just the feeling that came with that, like, you didn't have anyone to go to for guidance on the matter. It was just there in the moment. Mm-hmm. And it could even be something like, you know, you're an 8th grade, you're at the mall, and you got some money on you. Do you spend it on this stupid thing and then kind of feel guilty for buying a stupid thing that you didn't need?
Yeah.
Or do you save it and kind of make your parents proud because you didn't spend that money if you didn't need to?
So the thing about it is, so in that particular situation, and I know that you just meant that generally, but that specific situation where
you're right.
Going to the mall with like $10.
Yeah.
Knowing that, because growing up, like, not like poor, like we weren't like in a Levittown, but like not well off, because we're in a pretty well off community, and I think we're in a silent majority bubble of people that we're really putting on airs to a certain degree. Anyway,
right. Most of the wealth in our area is held in the hands of the older people. Yeah.
So going to the mall with not a lot of money was a pretty typical occasion. Yeah. So I would not spend it on the dumb thing. I would usually spend it on food, which is a tradition that carries today.
That's true.
If I have any money, my first idea is, fuck, I can buy good food now. And sometimes I saw a tweet the other day that's salient now, but I think it was my good buddy Zach's. He tweeted something. He was like, "There's nothing more disappointing than spending money on bad food." And I was like, you know what though?
That's true.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where I'm. That's just what made me think of that. But I guess that my first situations where it was up to me to decide what was right or wrong, or I don't know of a situation. Well, I mean, I work in customer service, so I'm constantly involved in like situations where like I have to decide what's right or wrong, and I have to prove that to the person that I'm in a confrontation with. But when in being like 17 or 18 or 19, you'll remember that we used to just drive around downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And we weren't really conscious of neighborhoods and what that might mean in terms of personal safety.
Yeah.
We weren't really cognizant of that. We weren't aware, like, don't go to certain areas after a certain time.
We knew problematic areas when we saw them.
Yeah.
The issue was we saw them when we were there.
Yeah. Mind you, this is pre-phone GPS.
Yes.
This is pretty much pre-readily available GPS.
This is, you're looking for landmarks that you can identify.
Yeah.
So being like, oh, I think I know where we can go from here.
So if you get lost, it's not, throw on your hazards, pretend to be an Uber, and Google your way out of there. This is not that time yet.
This is you don't stop moving.
This is do not stop for anything. And but here's the thing, like we got caught in some issue-laden situations, but it never concerned me.
You never felt in danger.
Never felt in danger.
Because at the end of the day, you're just a kid.
It was really no more...
Who's going to hurt a kid?
It was no scarier than like a horror movie. It was like, I understand that this situation is perilous, but I'm not particularly concerned for my well-being.
There's a thrilling aspect to it.
A little bit, yes.
It's like, all right, at school on Monday, we have something to talk about.
Yes. There is one situation that I actually did feel my personal well-being was at stake. But I'm going to go away.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to come back, and you're going to Zets.
I am going to Zets. So, just me now. Just big meat now. But to double down on my answer to the question that was posited earlier, my big takeaway from the 2010s was these were really the years where I started to become the individual that I am. And there are some regrets, as there would be in any life. But if I had a chance to do it all over again, I don't know, for the most part, that I would have changed things. Now that I said that, I can think of some things I would have changed, but everything turned out all right in the end for me, so I guess I'm pretty happy with it. A lot of good movies came out. A lot of good music came out. A lot of good books. A lot of good TV. All the stuff that I consume. A lot of real great. I opened myself up to a lot of new foods that I really enjoyed. So, yeah. Anyways, back to the scheduled program. Here's Kevin again.
So the one situation where I did feel like we are to use the words of General What's-His-Face from the Gungan Army, we step in big doo-doo this time.
It's Captain Tarpals.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it's Boss Nass, Captain Tarpals, and then Jar Jar
Binks.
Yes.
And so we were just driving, and I almost feel like we might as well just start name dropping at this point, because all of our stories from high school, basically all of my stories from high school revolve around the same four people.
They're our friends. It's fine.
But so our one buddy Avery,
what a guy,
who really just stunning on a six string. He was basically the driver. I won't call him the chauffeur because there's a hint of it's not a great name.
It's true.
He was basically the driver, and I would ride shotgun.
Self-proclaimed driver.
Yeah. He was. It was his choice, and I would ride shotgun and pick the music as the shotgun does, and then Doug would ham it up in the back.
Yeah, you think I did Zetzing before? You didn't see me then.
In his prime, in his Zetzing prime.
Oh boy,
big meat back there.
It's really where a boy becomes a man.
In the back seat of that car.
Yeah, I feel like we were all funny, but I feel like I was the designated comic relief on those escapades. Yeah, because I could keep it light.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just like, hey man, We all got to go someday.
We just drive headlong into the void.
Of course, now that's a concept that terrifies me.
Yeah.
10 years can change a man.
Truly, I'm saying it. Now I can't wait. But there was a situation where the women of our group, not just the one, she was at a bar. I don't know if she got there or into it, but she was at a bar in West Virginia. That was the only information that we had.
Yeah, West Virginia, one of the smaller states, but not by any means a small state.
West Virginia takes like 30 hours to drive through.
Oh, if you're going straight north to south, God help you. God help you.
It's a terrible drive.
Don't stop at a Shoney's unless you want dysentery.
Hell no. So that was the only information that we had. We were already out, and we were like, well, maybe we should, like, I don't know, see what she's up to. And we weren't really, like, committed to it because it was like West Virginia's a little bit out of our zone, whatever. And then she texts one of us that she thinks that it's great because it reminds her of the house from Train Spotting. And it was at that moment that we went, okay, we are doing a reconnaissance mission. We need to rescue her immediately.
This is no longer, hanging out with a friend. This is snatch and grab.
This is truly breaking and entering at this point. We are breaking the law to do a right by our friend.
Which really, to refer back to the other day or maybe last week's episode, the House of Train Spotting is really what Remedy is.
Yeah, for sure. It's just decrepit. Like, ugh, it's disgusting.
She should have gone to Remedy. She probably was at Remedy.
She probably was.
And didn't realize what state she was in because that's the effect Remedy has.
But she gave us a city name, like a town name, but we just couldn't find it. And then we wound up stopping at like a 7-Eleven or a Chevron or something and asking the guy behind the counter what the name of this, like where this town was, and he was like, dude, you were like 4 highways over. Like if you go there and you book it, you won't get there for another 20-30 minutes. It's already like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's dead. We should just go home and pretend like we never knew her, and that's just how we're gonna do it.
And 10 years later, that's where we are.
Yeah. That's dark. So he's
still at a bar in West Virginia, for all we know.
We carried on, and it was probably about 3 at this point. And I had already fallen asleep twice. Our good buddy Avery, still going.
Real night owl, that one.
Still going. And
he's still a night owl.
I think he is, yeah. And I remember this is the moment that I was like, shit, we are not well. He was like, I woke up and I was like, where the fuck are we? And he goes, you know what? This is actually starting to look familiar. And I'm like, oh great, that means we're within like an hour at the most of like home. So, and because I'll remind you, no GPS, no map, no smartphone to look up where we're going.
18 years old of the era.
18 years old of the oldest. And he goes, yeah, no, my aunt lives out here. They have coyotes. And I went, oh. And he went, yeah, you know what? We probably should have got gas back there too. And I went, well, what? This is it. This is how it goes. This is how it ends.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep one last time. And when I came to, we were on 376 coming home.
Oh, that's good.
So we figured it out. He figured it out, and
he did figure it out.
Because that's the thing with Ave. Always figures it out.
Really good sense of direction.
I have a terrible sense of direction. Anywhere that I say we should go, you should go in the opposite direction.
That's literally true.
Yeah.
Considering you've driven us to the other side of Pennsylvania and in New York twice now, I can attest to that.
You know what, though? The only time that it got hairy was when we went to Elizabeth for our good buddy Ben's wedding.
Yes.
And coming back...
Bethlehem.
What'd I say?
Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah. Bethlehem's much further.
Yes. Several hours. Hours. Yeah.
What am I looking at here? Oh, right, Bethlehem.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, hello. Bethlehem. Coming back. I don't know, dude. I guess I must have missed a slight turn.
Yeah, because we were on that road. That's
for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was a straight line, no offshoots. And it got scenic, so that was nice.
It did get scenic, but it was also like...
Things to be aware of. My car does not have air conditioning.
Sure doesn't.
It blows air, but it just blows whatever air comes into the car.
And when you know it, these road trips always happen in August.
So, no air conditioner, which I'm normally fine with, but I just roll the windows down.
Yeah.
But you can't really do that when you're going 80 on the highway.
It's true.
So that was a little uncomfortable. Occasionally we would have to slow it down to under 60 so that Doug could air out.
Yeah, I was a moist boy.
Yeah.
I'm a schwitzer.
He's a schwitzer.
And it was not fun. I had thought when he offered to drive to this wedding that, maybe he got his air conditioner fixed. Mm-mm. No, he didn't.
Guess
and
again.
I found that out when I got in the car. And not a moment before.
Good times. Yeah. Good times.
Back in the day, I got in trouble a lot for yins keeping me out too late.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why I had to bow out from some of the escapades.
Inserting.
That because I suspect that if... we're just going to hang out, go to like Steak and Shake or something, it's like we're going to end up in the middle of Ohio.
Yeah, you'd have to drive
in the
yourself.
morning.
Well, it was
like, I will take myself, I'll meet you there, because when I hang out somewhere else after,
yeah,
great. If not, I'm going to go home.
Yeah, well, the thing about it was, like, I liked going to the diner, and I liked having a meal with my buds, and I didn't mind gallivanting about the town until, like, midnight.
Yeah.
Midnight was my personal curfew. Anything later than that, I can personally attest to either nothing will happen or certainly nothing good will happen.
Right.
And since like nothing really bad, like mortally bad happened, and nothing really even like weird, because at the time, like I just like if I'm doing the same things now, I'd probably be scared out of my mind.
Right.
But being like a sheltered 18-year-old walking around, like I distinctly remember with Avery walking around not the Hill District, but like kind of close to it.
Yeah.
And not really thinking anything of it. And not that the Hill District is like inherently bad, but like
it has a reputation.
It has a reputation, and it's not super duper safe for like two extremely white kids to be walking around it.
Right.
And I cannot stress enough how white we are.
You guys. I'm pretty tan now.
Douglas, you're wearing a claret blue and gray. Is that a gray or is that a periwinkle?
It's gray. Periwinkle. No, it's gray.
Periwinkle. It's a cardigan, nonetheless.
Yes. Well, it's me. I got a rep.
We're the Cardi boys.
I, like the Hill District, have a reputation.
That's true. I would really like to... So, like, Jesus and Mero are the Bodega Boys. Mm-hmm. I would love to be the Cardi Boys.
I think we'd be that.
Could we be the Cardi Boys?
As long as we really ham it up with, like, Hardy Boys-inspired imagery. But us in cardigans, obviously.
Sure. Yeah. Can you look hard in a cardigan?
Look at me right now.
Hardigans?
Hardigans. That has to be the name of, like... a beat detective in some old pulp.
I love it. What do you think? What do you think, week old babies? Should we be the Cardi Boys, or is it better to be Big Meat and Papa Sauce?
Big Meat and Papa Sauce are the Cardi Boys.
Sign off in the DMs. We'll have to get like an established thing so that people can just siphon them in.
Oh yeah. Here's my question: week old babies.
Mm-hmm.
We established it's WEAK, old babies, right? Or is it 1 week old babies?
No, the actual tesk? That's not even a word, and I agree with you. The actual text was week old. As in, like, they were only a week old.
Okay.
Like 1 week, 7 days old.
So are our fans 7 days old, or are they weak?
Our fans are week old babies.
Okay, perfect.
But
My name is David, and I identify as a week-old baby.
That's saying, man. Until we get something better.
David, you're 28. No, you misunderstand.
Yeah.
I am weak, and I'm old, and I'm a baby.
Yep. That's how it goes. Get them.
Shout out to the Davids out there.
Shout out to all the Davids out there.
You're big meat and Papa Sauce's week-old babies now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, child.
Oh, child. Do you think that world peace hinges upon
us?
Well, I was not necessarily us. I think that world destruction hinges upon us. I think world peace hinges upon Southern Baptist grandmas.
Yeah.
On the way here, I was picking up some brews.
Not to be confused with Westboro Baptist grandmas.
No. Southern Baptist grandmas. I was picking up some brews.
Yes.
And I held the door for a nice...
Hold the door.
Nice older lady. And she went, "Thank you, child."
Oh.
And my whole day turned around.
And you called her Mom and latched onto her.
"Hello, Mom. I'm Papa Sauce."
Mama.
"Hello, week-old child."
I'm home. I'm home, Mama.
Truly, it's...
Get off of me.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Ooh, child, get off of me.
It is a wonderful feeling.
It is a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. Sequel to It's a Wonderful Life. No. Yeah. Well, what was your takeaway from the 2010s?
I think I briefly started to answer that, and we got off topic. Imagine that.
Not us.
So what was I saying? That each decade that we've been alive has been it's been outlined by some sort of tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
So not getting into like the Desert Storm or 9/11. By 2010, that was go time. That was the playoffs leading into the championship.
Yeah.
2010s were weird, man, because I really had blinders on the whole time. I was really just a dumb 18-year-old for like 5 years.
Yeah, it was still kind of like we were kind of operating off of what was expected of us.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, it was like, well, we have the world before us.
Yeah, I think that what I was feeling was I wasn't quite used to being a child. I was so used to being a child of Pittsburgh in the immediate vicinity. I was not used to being a child of the world.
Right.
And I still acted in the world as a child of Pittsburgh, even though I didn't live there anymore.
Okay.
And it just doesn't mix. It doesn't really go. So I had like a real
20... You had to adapt.
Yeah, but I did it very abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2011 to 2012. It was like I wanted so badly for it to just be 2010 for like a little bit longer. Like just everything that happened in that year, like the good, the bad, like I wanted to kind of like live there for a little bit until I was ready to walk out on my own.
That was a good year.
But just the slow, unceasing march of time just keeps you going. And like I turned to a lot of different things. I turned to a lot of different people for some sort of crutch.
Yeah.
And then ultimately finding that it's better to walk on your own two legs than to use a crutch.
Mm-hmm.
And
what I remember is of 2010. So we were all friends, and then you guys graduated, and we hung out over the summer as we were wont to do.
Yeah.
But then I still had my senior year of high school to go. Going into that year, my friend group had graduated.
Yeah.
So I was kind of back to square one. So that was really when I started to lean heavily into my interests to kind of develop. and then a sturdy group of friends formed up around that. Because it was all stuff like, oh, you like that? Like, my buddy over here likes that. And we talk, and it just kind of kept growing and growing. And so I went from having, like, I wasn't having no friends going to senior year of high school. I had I've always had, like, 2 sets of friends. And God help me if they ever cross paths, because then the few times I've like, it's not a Venn diagram. It's 2 independent circles in me sprinting back and forth between the 2.
I do remember briefly playing hockey, and without like it being any like. We didn't have like any labels. I wasn't like, oh, those are Doug's other friends. I remember playing hockey against them, and the amount of shit talking that went back and forth was just, I can only imagine your inside horror. Like me lining up against some of them.
What just happened?
Going back and forth.
My goodness.
No, but I get that.
But like even our good buddy Colin, referred to you guys as my druggie friend.
We were the druggie friends, even though we were anything but. We were just foreign.
I was so amused, slightly offended, but mainly amused when I first heard that. And I was like, obviously, it never hung out.
Yeah,
because like the one time that I remember that there were drugs involved, everyone was confused as to what to do.
Yeah, not lame.
Yeah.
Oh God!
The main memory of that was all of us trying to kill a demon spider.
You know what though? Fuck
while
that
like
spider.
2 people got high in a corner.
Fuck that spider. That thing was not real. It was just. It was a corporeal manifestation of evil.
It was in a fire.
It crawled out of the fire. And we threw an entire stick of firecrackers on it. And it just went, nope.
Not today.
Not today. And it like picked a target. Like before it was like doing like this is my ground territory.
Yeah.
I don't want you in this circle. And then we threw it and then it went after such and such. And I was like, well, that's it. I'm out. I'm going home.
You're the sacrifice. I'm going to run.
Yeah, truly. No, it's interesting that you had that experience because I had the exact same experience in college.
Yeah. Well, it was like I had 2 college experiences. Because like when you get to college, you find all those new.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I guess now that you're spinning it that way.
Yeah, it's about me now.
It's about you now. No, well, when I got to college, obviously I wasn't like, because there's the people that like went to like that you graduated high school with that also went to the same college as you, but you're like, you know what, we had it. You know, if we didn't get it done in 18 years, it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, but it's like if you were friends with them,
yeah,
it's a safety net that can be dangerous.
Yeah,
because then it takes you longer to wander away from that.
Yeah, and I had a lot of people that went to IUP with me, and I'm cool with them. I have no issues with any of them, but like we weren't friends. So I didn't reach out to them at all because I was like, they're people. Like they're gonna find their niche and that's gonna be fine, and I'm not gonna latch onto that. This is my opportunity to do my thing, and I had to do it again in 2014. So because
when you were about to get out of.
Yes. So my advisor, I don't know why. I don't know what he saw in me or in my transcript or anything, but he started me off very slow in school.
Oh, yeah.
And I was only taking 4 classes a semester for the first year and a half.
Oof.
And I was like, what? Why? And here's the thing, that the way that IUP did it, and I don't know if they do it differently or what, but you had to see your advisor to get a code to schedule courses.
Yeah, we had to do that.
And since I was an English major, English always went last. And so I always...
The least important.
Yeah, truly, right? So I always scheduled 2 weeks or 3 weeks after classes started scheduling. So the classes that I wanted were usually open because they were super niche. But even like junior year and stuff like that, I would have to write emails to teachers. I'd have to see them personally to see if I could get like a special recommendation into the class and stuff. It was always a fucking hassle.
Oh, I had to do that my last semester, and it was the most stressful thing.
Right?
At that time.
Yeah.
I've learned new stress since.
Oh, yeah. I would love to do that now.
Yeah.
But
cakewalk.
So no matter how you sliced it, like whether it was because I was only taking eight credits a semester or because I was not being able to take classes that I needed.
How are you still in school?
Honestly. Well, that was the thing. He was like, you're lagging a little bit behind everybody else in your class. And you're like, shit, I wonder why.
Yeah.
And then eventually he let me like go hog wild, and I got all the way up to like 16. Mm-hmm. Those were dark days. There's a hospital story involved in there that we won't tell this story, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
But I ended up graduating a semester late, which is, I made up a lot of fucking time because I was supposed to graduate like a year late.
Yeah.
And I managed to make up all that time and come back to only just a semester. And I was a little bit, my roommate for like 3 years in college, my best buddy in college, Glenn, I thought I was going to get lucky because Glenn was an architect. And I don't know if he lets me put him on the spot like this, but he's in France, so he's probably not even going to listen. Mm-hmm. If you are, buddy, I love you and I miss you. But he was an architecture major.
That was who I met, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He was an architecture major. Here's the thing about Glenn. Buddy, you're not good at math.
Put him on blast.
Putting him on blast. And he knows this about
You know they get podcasts in France, right?
No, they don't.
Right, sure.
But
we're not speaking French, so they don't get this.
Right, exactly. Not great at math. Wasn't doing great in school. I convinced him with the help of some other people and his girlfriend, who turned into his fiance, who's now his wife. We were like, just what do you want? Like, that's what you want to do, but like that's not really feasible. Mm-hmm. So like, what can you do that you can do now? And now he got a history degree. Mm-hmm. And he did a lot better.
It's all talk from a guy who was studying writing.
Truly. But hey, I have a comm media minor, so don't you see this microphone working, Doug?
Yeah. I don't see the light on it on this side, so I don't know if it is working.
Oh, God. But I thought he was going to be a semester late with me. But this motherfucker took winter and summer classes to get back on track. And he graduated on time. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I took summer classes one summer. It was just one class. And it was one of the worst experiences. It was a philosophy class too.
Ooh.
Which I've grown more of an interest for since college.
No, I loved my philosophy courses. I just wish I wasn't being graded in them.
Right. I think all of my interests, all the classes that I took in college, I mean, there were some good ones, but I didn't really start to be interested in them until well after I was out of college.
Yeah, I took... just real quick, I took an ethics course that I loved, and I aced that, and I took the same professor, and he taught the philosophy of language.
Ooh, that sounds like a fun one.
Right? It's not. And that dude went from being super cool to a gigantic cunt.
What do you do in that class? What do you learn? What do you study?
So you learn the roots of, I guess, enough of the contemporary philosophers have boiled down language to its roots. So it doesn't matter if it's like Latin or fucking Sanskrit or just cave drawings. They all have a theory to it. Every single one. And that's kind of how the Rosetta Stone works and stuff like that. So the course was basically just learning that.
Right.
And it was intensely interesting. Intensely interesting. I dropped it.
Oh.
Well, I didn't drop it. What's the R one? Where it was like you just didn't get credit for it.
You withdraw?
Withdraw, yeah, that's what it was. I had to withdraw like 2 weeks before midterms.
Oh yeah. Because it's well after the window, which you can drop it.
Yeah, because I had a talk with him, and like if I was just sitting in, I would have had the time of my life.
Right.
But it was all papers, and and I'm sure like if anybody is listening to this at all, but if anybody is listening to this and they've taken more than one philosophy course, there's like a mathematics to it. with like squiggle lines, and it gets real weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that in the slightest. Now, I was in the same course as like 16 other philosophy majors.
Right.
Who were all like super on board with what was happening. But like, this is just like a fun class.
What a dumb major to be in.
This is just like a fun class for me. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm there with the theory. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I think that it's interesting, and I'm trying to apply it. But when you get into this weird math shit, I don't get it anymore. And based off that, like, so we learned this theory that stuck with me for all these years called the twin earth theory. Mm-hmm. And it's basically that, so on this earth, if another earth appeared in the sky, mm-hmm. and we didn't know anything about it, mm-hmm. and all the chemicals were different, and this, I might be butchering this a little bit, but the idea is there, so just bear with me here. But so we have H2O, which is water.
Yes.
They could have X49, whatever theirs is. But if it's a clear, drinkable liquid that sustains life, it would still be water.
Right. That makes sense.
And that's the idea. Like, you expand upon that, but that's the general idea. So if it's a basic life-sustaining clear liquid, it's always water. It doesn't matter what it's made up of.
So then water becomes the root of just life-sustaining liquid.
Yes.
The meaning of it.
Basically. And again, like, I withdrew from this course, so that might not be 100% correct.
Right. But it's along those lines.
It's along those lines. And I thought it was really, really interesting. And I did a paper on it, and I thought that I did really well on it. Like, I exceeded the page limit, as I understood this guy he liked that. Mm-hmm. And I cited it. Like, I basically put the English major charm. I did what I do when I'm doing what I do mm-hmm. in a different, like, I plugged that into a different class, and he gave me a D on it. Mm. And I'd never seen a D on a paper before.
No.
And I
don't think I have.
Deeply concerned.
Either.
It was the only time in my life I've ever seen a D on a paper.
Yeah, most of my bad grades came from the more mathematics based.
Well, there you go.
I think actually all of them.
Yeah, so I took the paper to him, and I was like, Brad, buddy, what the fuck?
Bradley.
Yeah, and he was like, I appreciate that you have an interest in this course. I think it's a little bit beyond you. And I was like, listen, motherfucker, you need to choose your words a little more carefully.
This boot's beyond your touch.
Yeah. And he was like, you jumped from like a 100 course to a 300 course. And like, I dig that you are into linguistics and stuff like that. But I don't think that this is the avenue. Like, this is too serious than I think what you expected to get into. And I was like, all right, well, shit. So I dropped back down to four classes that semester.
And that's when you flexed on him and said, listen, buddy, philosophers aren't the one that created language anyways. It's the scribes.
Hey, write that down, scribe. And
create a new language, scribe.
And that's basically how I got into comm media. Because I was like, well, I only had like 5 credits left.
Yeah.
In my English. So I was like,
English.
I got 20 credits till I graduate, like, because they put like 180 or 160 on you.
Yeah.
And I was basically done. Like, I had 2 more courses, and then my capstone. And I was like, well, I got to fill up the other 20 somehow. Mm-hmm. So I just took all comm media courses and learned how to film stuff.
Oh wow.
And I actually took a screenwriting course. Mm. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit before we were rolling, but I took a screenwriting course, and everything I learned in that course was wrong.
Yeah.
Everything. I found I opened a Dropbox that I started in 2014, and I wrote my first screenplay in that course. I didn't finish it, but I got like 30 pages into it.
Right.
I don't know if this is going to make sense to you guys at home, to you week-old babies at home, but I wrote a 30-page feature script in an AV format under the behest of the professor that was teaching the course at the time. So that's an audio visual one. So that's basically on the left hand side of the screen is all the visuals. So all the cut tos, this shot, that shot, pan over here, do this, do that. And then on the other side is all the language. It's all the audio. So it's both dialogue and also a car is heard screeching down the street, a gunshot, and then dialogue. It's not difficult to follow, but it's also hilariously incorrect.
Yeah.
If I turned that into any Hollywood executive, they'd slash my tires and steal the spark plugs and then execute me.
You wouldn't have a career.
Never. They would literally laugh me out of the building.
Yeah.
And then we learned about what was the thing that when we went to that conference, somebody in the crowd asked, "Do we still need this?"
Oh,
was it a beat sheet?
What was it? There were a few things.
There was a few things. It was like
you don't need
basically the idea of this,
I think roughly a beat sheet.
Yeah, the idea of this sheet was that it was like title, premise, slug line for the movie, which is like a cutesy way of summing up the movie in itself, and then all of your characters, their arcs, and then this is what the first act has, this is what the second act has, this is what the third act is. It's basically like the shorthand of the whole movie in like a page or two, but you try to keep it to a page. And we got hammered on this idea for like 2 weeks, which is a long time in college.
Yeah.
And it was like every project that we turned in, it had to have one of these sheets with it. And it was like so popular with the teacher. And she was like, you need to have this because nobody's going to have time to read your whole script, which is true.
Yeah.
They're like, no one's going to have time to read your whole script. So you need to have this sheet so that they know what it is. And I was like, yeah, you got it. Salute and everything. And then like 2 years later, Doug and I go to this film writing conference. And some kid in the audience goes, do we still need this thing? And then there's this Hollywood executive who, bigwig guy, like top of the mountain for
WME?
Yeah, WME.
Yeah.
And he goes, if I see one of those sheets come out of anybody's hands, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah. I think the consensus one's like, if you want to write it for yourself to help guide your script, great. But it stays with you. It does not go to anybody else. Because it's just... It's really what your pitch should be. You condense that down into your pitch. Mm-hmm.
It's
and that's like where...
That's the elevator pitch. Yeah, maybe that was in it. I don't know. But
yeah. That was funny. And that is funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny.
But so that's a whole fucking waste of time. But that was the other thing. So there was I don't know if it was like theory of film or something, but it was where I made. I love you guys dearly, but it was basically where I made my interim friends just to get through the last semester with human interaction.
Right.
And they were my film team.
I hope they listen to this.
Like, no, they're far too big.
Well, interim friends.
No, they're great. They're great human beings, and they're living their dreams. And I'm actually very proud of all four of them. But
wow, this guy numbering his friends.
There's actually only 3 of them. I was the 4th one. Oh, wow. I'm very proud of myself.
Wow, he just lost one. I bet there was only one other person.
That's
true.
And
it was me.
But Group 9 forever. They know. Real ones know. And it was in that class that I wrote all of the scripts for the short films that we filmed. Mm-hmm. And this teacher would not accept that I'm a good writer. And he would not, all of my scripts came back and he was like, it's trite, it's derivative. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, it's derivative. It's based off a short story. It's based off a tall tale. That was the whole point. He wanted us, one of the first projects we had was, or actually the year-long project was, we were given a Aesop fable.
Ooh.
Or one of the Aesop's fables.
Right.
And we had to make it a contemporary short film.
Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah. And at the end of the year, or at the end of the semester, we had a film festival. And the whole class would gather, and we would watch everybody's movie.
Right.
And another professor in the department, and the professor's daughter, who was like 9.
Oh, okay.
She would be, because it was like kid stuff. So she would be a judge based off of how much.
Someone took one of those fables in a very dark place.
Yeah. Well, that was like, we were joking about it, because I was like, because ours was The Fox and the Lion. Is that right?
It could be. There's so many permutations of animals.
Yeah. I think the general idea was that, like, there was this lazy as shit lion who was just like a real piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And there was a fox who all of the fox's friends were kind of jumping ship to go hang out with this lion. Uh-huh. And then it turns out that the lion, like, wants to kill the fox and is like, it's a real screwball idea, but right. I think the whole thing that came around was like patience and forgiveness. And I don't remember exactly how we did it, but like we were coming up with all these like super dark, gritty stories, and because I just thought we thought it was funny. Like we didn't actually get started in typical college fashion until like 2 weeks before the whole thing was due.
Oh, even that's pretty early.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but it takes a long time to do a film. I don't like from start to finish.
Yeah.
And we had to give him the scripts like every step of the way. So like the first draft and then subsequent edits. And every single time he would like talk shit. And I was like,
probably talking shit.
He's probably talking shit. No, he definitely talking shit. And we would just laugh. We would laugh because I would take it to like my other professors and like my we never put a label on it, but my mentor in college,
right?
He was my poetry professor, my creative writing professor,
my college daddy.
My Papa Sauce. I would take the scripts to him because he was a reviewer and he would read scripts and stuff like that, and he was like, "This seems perfectly fine. Like, obviously not, like amazing, but like this is perfectly fine.
You're not gonna sell this anymore."
Right? He was like, "But for its purposes, this is fine." And so I was like, well, at least you're saying that. Like, then I know that I'm not shit at this. And I think we came in like 10th out of 15. Like, it wasn't like a great showing, but
the guy was headhunting.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that it was like, because he laughed at a couple of things that I put in it, like because I made it like in typical my fashion, like it would be really heavy, and then I'd tell like a stupid joke,
right?
Like really heavy and stupid joke, and he laughs at all the jokes. And I guess he like didn't feel anything at the heavy parts, but
that's where you need me.
Yeah, truly. Well, that's why I keep you around, Doug.
This is heavy, Doc, because I'm big meat.
You are big meat.
Big heavy meat.
And I guess that's. But that's where I kind of had to make. I had the same. I had my freshman situation all over again. For that,
in your last semester.
In my last semester. So that's a nice little bookend.
Yeah.
But
roundabout way of getting to it, but you pulled it together at the end.
Yeah, I mean you can cut and screw whatever you want.
Chop and screw.
Daddy.
Yeah. Good times. I enjoyed the decade for the most part. I was telling them when I was Zetzing and you had disappeared that while
I was peeing.
You were.
I went to the bathroom.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know.
You weak old baby.
Oh, that. I have some regrets.
Oh? Regrets?
But it's all more personal things than anything, which makes sense because it's my life. But you know what I mean. But for the most part, I'm happy the way things have gone. I mean, I think I can identify. I mean, with hindsight, you can identify the exact points where it's like if you had done something different, things might be different now. But I don't know that I would change how things are now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah, you want the more successful thing, but outside of career, I'm speaking.
Right. Outside of career, yeah. I mean, it's difficult to say.
Because there's always gonna be that big what if.
Yeah, there's a couple of them for me, but I think at the end of the day, everything kind of worked out exactly how it was supposed to.
Right.
So it's tough to complain.
You gotta kind of go where the cosmic forces of the universe are guiding you.
Yeah. Even if you don't appreciate it so much, it's all life experience.
Right.
It's everything you put it in your backpack, and not literally, you put it in your figurative backpack, and you just it's a real Tim O'Brien situation, man. It's just things that you carry. The things they carried.
I know.
Tim O'Brien.
That was I know someone with that name.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
So I was like, how do you know him?
That's like the third time that's happened to me today, where I've said something just innocuously, and people are like, "How did you know that?"
Like, so you've got pancreatitis.
Yeah, truly.
How'd you know?
How did I know?
But yeah, there was a lot of good music, good movies, good all that stuff in the decade that I enjoyed. That I will continue to enjoy.
Yeah. The end of it's kind of a shit show, but
I had some fun big events. A lot of big life changes.
Yeah, this was definitely like the first decade of adulthood.
Yeah.
So like I said, I did more living in the last 9.75 years.
Yeah.
Than the previous 18, but
you meet some great people. You have to say goodbye to some people before you'd like to, but that's life.
That's life.
And it's gonna happen again in the next decade.
It's gonna happen again tomorrow.
What do you know? Should I leave my house tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Just looking out the window like, Kevin knows something. And he didn't tell me.
Oh,
me holding all of my baseball bats close to the chest.
Oh, Doug.
You wanna...
Yeah.
You wanna wrap it up?
Yeah, I'll wrap it up.
I enjoyed this one.
I'm not used to it, but for you, I'll do it.
Well, thank you for showing me that courtesy. Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
I'm happy.
I'm happy with the pod.
We've had happy.
I'm happy with the big old babies. The weak, big old babies.
The weak, big, old babies.
The big, meaty babies.
Covered in Papa sauce.
Ugh. And,
better than covered in Papa's sauce.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with the pod. I'm happy with the decade. I'm happy with us. Yeah. I love us.
We are so great.
We are precious.
Yeah.
And
just wish you'd put out more. What are we talking about?
Oh, Doug. I think we should end it.
Dangle McSwangle.
We're going to hold hands and go off that cliff together.
Yeah.
For we have fun. Did you have fun, Doug?
I did have fun. I had a lot of fun. It was more introspective than I thought we'd get.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way.
No, I don't.
Is there a bad introspection?
No, I don't mind that. I think
you just look into yourself and see that you're a horrible person.
Often. But
not me.
I think based off the stuff that we have planned, this is probably the last. This is the hurrah of the ad-libbed "What the fuck are we doing?" shows.
Right.
So
for a while at least.
If by the time you hear this, we've got we got more creative ways to fill the space of your cabin. So,
or if you like just the more conversational bits, let us know.
Let us know. Any fan interaction. We are desperate for attention. Yeah, truly. But yeah, I had fun too. And as always, well, no.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare bite my style.
I have been Kevin.
And I'm always Big Meat.
AKA.
No, Big Meat is my legal name.
The legal,
my government
his
name.
Born name.
Yeah.
Big Meat McGlynn.
I'm always Doug.
All right, thank you.
Always Doug. Big Meat, Doug.
Thank you. All right.
Big Meat. Doug with Big Meat.
This has been Papa Sauce signing off. We'll see ya. We'll see you on Tuesday or Thursday or whenever the hell this comes. This feels like a Thursday cast.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put that on you.
It seems like you just did.
Nope. All right, buddies. All right, you weak old babies. See you in the next one.
Ta-ta.